Hello everyone, welcome to another Ultimate Fighter episode review. This is for Season 28, Episode 7, I Never Have Fear, and yeah, we actually don't really have a lot to talk about for this episode. I do want to apologise for not getting up sooner, but for most of last week, I was looking after my niece, and one of those days was on Thursday, and even though I got to watch the episode on Thursday, I couldn't really record it. For one thing, babysitting, and for another thing, the episode title wasn't really available yet, so it kind of worked out, really. So yeah. May as well start with what I've got in my notes written here, and which is Leia Letson after the fallout of the previous fight between Leia Letson and Bea Malecki in what was a really, really good fight, and Leia won. She basically came back and looked like she didn't really win at all. Her eyes were messed up, she had a nasty cut on her head. She looked like she came off worse in the fight, and she really did, but she did get the win, and I can't really fault that, so yeah, but there was a nice little exchange between her and Marseille Allen. Like Marseille said, she felt bad about complaining about her foot when she saw how bad Leia's face looks, and I was like, yeah, nice little bit of back and forth there. I like that. So yeah, it was kind of just a nice happy moment to start things off with. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the home videos, because the fighters in this episode were Ben Sosoli from Team Gastelum against Juan Espino from Team Whittaker. And, yeah, there were some good videos. Ben Sosoli started off his by... there was little segues into them as well. We'll start with ones because this came out first, actually. And he was, meditating and going. He says he likes to meditate. He says he doesn't like, all the busy, quiet and everything. Well, he doesn't like all the business. He likes to be on his own. He likes to calm down and be serene. And then it led into his fight video where we find out he was born on the Catalan islands of Spain. And, he lives with his family. He doesn't really have a girlfriend. He lives with his mother and sisters. And, yeah, just really, really close-knit family. And we have something sort of different for Ben. So Ben, we find out, actually wanted to be a rugby player at first. This is the segue leading to his video. We find out he wanted to be a rugby player, but he messed up his knee. And then he saw about MMA, because he was done with the rugby after the injury he had. And he was like, yeah, I'll give this a go, not realising that he also had to use his knees for that. So, it was actually kind of a funny little thing. And I really liked it. So, yeah, and then that led to his home video where he has a girlfriend and two daughters, one of which is named Sayin, which is just a really cool name for any kid ever. So that was kind of awesome. And we find out that he has two sons from a previous relationship, but he never really gets to see them. It was kind of a sad story, and it worked really well in making Ben likable, I guess. I mean, he was already a likable enough guy, but he's definitely the most quiet male of the house, I mean, besides Juan, really. I mean, Ben's just a quiet dude, so. And the next part is the fight prep, how the fighters themselves were prepared for each different fight. There wasn't really any special guest coaches. The one who appeared for Team Gastelum and helped them through was still there. It wasn't really a whole bunch of changes to what we've seen in training, if I'm being honest, but I wanted to bring it up because it was something we were talking about, I guess. So Ben Sosoli is the best striker. He's deceptively fast with his boxing for someone as big as he is, but he did learn how to defend wrestling as well, sort of. And for Juan, it was the opposite. He's already a good enough striker, but he focuses on his wrestling. He does a little bit of striking as well, sort of like what Ben does, but the opposite. So as always, that creates an interesting dichotomy, and also I just realised I should have told you, I'm kind of fluffy because I had a shower earlier, so, yeah. So, yeah, good differences in fight prep, and we don't get to the fight yet. There's a segment beforehand that we're going to talk about, and they're out in the garden, and most of the team Gastelum were just chilling on some, hammocks, and Maurice Green, as we found out throughout the season, likes to drink. He likes a drink, he likes a beer. And he was drinking, and he saw Juan walking about, and a couple of episodes ago, Juan sort of called out Maurice because Maurice was making fun of the Spanish-speaking fighters on Team Whittaker. Specifically Michelle Batista. He wasn't actually making fun of Juan, he was making fun of Michelle more specifically. But Juan overheard it, and he decided to take umbrage with it. And in this episode, Maurice, being drunk, said some things that he actually admits he would have said sober. And I kind of like that. He didn't use the drunkenness as an excuse or as a truth serum. He said that he was an asshole anyway. He's just more of an asshole when he was drunk. And I was like, yeah, yeah, that's just really, really good owning up to it. And I like Maurice Green, and I like the fact that he was able to admit that he did something dumb. So, kudos. Let's see, what else is there? Well, yeah, they had a trash talk, and Maurice called out Juan and even dropped some N-bombs on him, so that was a thing. And, that was drinking at night, though. The next day, it passed over, and Maurice, at the behest of Ben Sosoli, believe it or not, Juan's opponent for this episode, Maurice did actually apologize to Juan, and Juan accepted it, and he said that, it was kind of weird. He was kind of the weird one at school anyway, and he never really fit in anywhere, so to be in this new place where he didn't also fit in, it did kind of hurt him a little bit, and I did sympathise with Juan because of that, and I also empathised more with Maurice because of his apology, so that was just good stuff, and I quite enjoyed it. And then we have the fight itself, and I believe Juan won by unanimous decision, really. He might not have, I'll quickly check. I was right, it was unanimous decision. I'm sorry I don't recall, the fight was a couple of days ago. So, yeah. Excuse me a second. So, the fight sort of started off with them standing, as all fights do, and, Ben, used some good boxing. He kept Juan away for a little bit. Excuse me. And then he went for something, and Juan countered into a takedown, and did a lot of ground and pound, basically, throughout the entire fight. Kept switching positions, went for a good couple of submissions. There was a moment where Ben actually went for a submission, but Juan reversed it into a suplex and got a takedown. I think that was in round 1. Round 2 was more the same. Ben looked a bit lazier, he looked a bit more tired, and he threw some really lazy shots, much like he did in the first round. He was caught with a takedown and basically ground and pound. That was Juan's bread and butter. He took down Ben, he ground and pounded him, and he won the fight by unanimous decision. Just a solid win, and 4 in a row for Team Whittaker. So that's 4-3 to Whittaker. And yeah, just enjoy. Probably it wasn't a great fight, I won't lie, but it was fairly watertight enough to know who won. And I feel like Ben definitely deserves a second chance. He didn't really get a super duper chance to shine here, so I definitely feels like I feel like he deserves a bit more. But yeah, fair play to Juan. Well done for winning. Well done for Whittaker for getting 4 in a row. And the next fight is going to be the last of the females in the quarterfinals, which is Macy Chason, I hope I'm saying that right, from Team Gastelum, against Larissa from Team Whittaker. Larissa does have a surname, I just don't remember what it is, and it's also probably difficult to say because she's German. So, anyway, yeah, that's going to about do it. I can't really think of much else to say. I've said anything and everything that I need to say. I'll see you all tomorrow for the next Fight of the Night review, if there is one, because I know there's a UFC event on tonight. So I'm not even going to try and call it. I'm just gonna let it surprise me. So I'll see you all possibly tomorrow. If I don't, I'll see you all maybe for the Water Concept episode. I am starting to get more into writing that now. I should have done it a lot sooner, I know. I don't really have an excuse. I just haven't done it. So, yeah, I'll see you all for whatever comes next. Thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye-bye.